Hey, did you know that the number one reason that people return to work after retirement is because they need the money, right? It, it may or may not be that obvious, but the number one reason that people return to work is because of lack of money. But I think more importantly, right, among those reasons, not just the lack of money, that's not the only reason, right? But among those reasons, people return to work out of boredom. Can you imagine? I don't get bored. And if I do, I embrace it. I embrace the boredom. But people return to work out of boredom. And I think what's really important to know when you decide to retire, right? Structure is underestimated. And I didn't think about that. I don't think I thought very much about structure when I decided to retire. I knew there were things that I wanted to do. I didn't imagine that I would get bored, and I haven't, right? But you know how we always say children need structure? I think we all need structure, right? We all need structure, not only because it gives us a sense of purpose, right? But I think it also provides a bit of security, rather emotional security or psychological security. I don't know. I think it gives us a sense of security, right? But we're going to get into that. Right? Because I don't want you to get bored in retirement. And if you do get bored, there's things you can do about that. There's things you can do, right? So let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about it. So if this is your first time here, my name is Sibongle. This is We Don't Retire, We Ascend. Those of you who know me know that it's actually been almost a year since I retired. Can you imagine? It's been almost a year. The time has really flown by. And no, I haven't gotten bored. I haven't gotten bored at all. But this is We Don't Retire, We Ascend. And this channel wants to talk about this channel is for Black and brown women who have retired, who are thinking about retirement, 60 plus. If this is the time in your life that you are thinking about and looking at now, I hope you find something helpful on this channel. If you do, please hit like, hit share, and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. And by the way, because it's been almost a year for me, next month, or let me see, the end of this month, not next month, the end of this month. Oh gosh, it's the end of this month is my anniversary of my retirement, my first year anniversary. And I will be talking about what I've been doing in my first year of retirement. So hit like, hit share, and subscribe so that you can be notified. Hit the notification bell so that you can be notified because I want to do it live. I've been playing with the live thing. If you've been watching, I've been playing with the live stream, doing live streams. I've been a little nervous about doing that, but I've started doing them, and I'm going to do it for the anniversary of my first year of retirement and talk about some of the things I've been doing. So please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when that video is going to drop. I think the 1st of February is when I've scheduled it for. I think the 1st, right? If it changes, again, just hit the notification bell so you'll know, right? So today I want to talk about the importance of structure, particularly as it pertains to retirement, right? And I have some notes here. Excuse me. I have some notes. Oh, let me drink some water. I have some notes here, so if I look down, I'm not giving you my undivided attention. I am just looking at my notes here. And also, there's a little bit of a glare on my glasses because of the room that I'm in. The sun is coming towards me, and I like this room because it has the best light in the house. And so, I apologize for that. So thanks. So welcome to all of you. Welcome to the newbies. And also let me shout out to all of the people who have been following me since I started. I know I haven't done a lot of videos, and I've started kind of, I've been a little bit nervous about this whole, being on camera kind of thing. But here I am, and those of you who have been following me for the last year, because I started this channel, it's been a little less than a year ago, or almost a year ago, right when I was about to retire. Yes, and I wanted to talk about issues that pertain to women in my age bracket, which is 60 plus, right? First of all, retirement can feel like a blank slate, right? It can feel like a blank slate. I know for me, it felt like a new beginning, right? I always like to compare it to when young folks are graduating from high school, graduating from college, and you have the whole world and your whole future ahead of you, right? For me, that's the way retirement felt, right? But structure can bring clarity and purpose, right? Some of us look at retirement as, well, I just don't have to go to work anymore. And that's important too, right? That's important too. But it can also bring clarity and purpose to some of the things that you've always wanted to do, right? The things that you've wanted to do and that you never had time to do, or you was always too busy, or you was too tired, right, after working all day. But structure will bring about clarity and purpose, but not in a way that's rigid, right? It doesn't have to be in a way that's rigid, like you have to go to work, or you have to get this done, or you have to do this, right? I've been telling everybody that this first year in retirement for me has been like my wilding out period, right? For me, this first year of retirement has been, I'm not doing nothing I don't feel like doing, right? I wake up when I get ready. It is not always early in the morning. As a matter of fact, it's not early in the morning because I'm not a morning person. So I don't wake up super early in the morning. I kind of want to get to that point where I do that, but it's really hard because I'm more of a night person, right? I'm more of a night person than a morning person. And so it's easier for me to stay up late than get up early, but I don't know. I don't know if that will change. They say old folks get up early in the morning. Maybe I'm not as old as I think I am, right? But structure is not about being rigid in your organization of your day, in, your routine. But it's about creating a framework for fulfilling activities, right? Or a framework for meaningful activities in your life, right? And it doesn't have to be something every day. You don't have to get up and do something every day. You don't have to get up and do things just to keep busy, just to prove, right, that you're busy. And again, like I said, this first year for my retirement, I'm not trying to prove nothing to nobody. I don't care what nobody think. If I want to get up at 10 in the morning, I'm going to get up at 10, maybe 11. I can't promise that it hasn't been after 11 on a couple of days. And as a matter of fact, I've been setting my clock lately. I've been setting my clock to wake up at 9. If in case I don't wake up before 9, I set my clock so that I can wake up and get up out the bed at 9 o'clock. But I'm a night owl. I stay up really late, right? But structure also helps you to not feel helps keep you from feeling overwhelmed or lost, right? It also promotes a sense of accomplishment. Okay. I've got a ton of things that I've been trying to do within this first year, in addition to sleeping late. I've actually been doing some things, right? Including making a little money online or whatever. But structure gives you a sense of, okay, things are together. Things are not all crazy, right? It's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially, and I did not anticipate this before I retire because I just didn't care. I didn't care what the feeling was going to be. I just knew I didn't want to go to another day of work. Right. I've not felt lost. I've not felt lost. I've felt more like I should be doing something, although I know I don't have to. But I've been feeling like a sense of responsibility to do something, right? But even that, I've fought that. I've fought that feeling. I don't care if I feel it, and I let it pass. Or I watch television, watch a movie, cook a meal, something like that, right? But nothing structured. I don't have anything that I have to do every day except yoga. And that's only for set sessions, right? It's not literally every day. I do yoga in a class 3 days a week, right? But the sessions are like 5 weeks, and then you have a week or two off, and then the next session starts. But I'll talk about more what I'm doing in my 1 year anniversary video. But for now, structure. One of the things that you have to do when you are considering your time in retirement, and this is not something that you have to do day 1 of your retirement, day 2, the first week, the first month, or even the first 6 months. For me, it ain't even been the year that I've thought about this much about it, right? Is assessing your priorities, right? Now, I've had some things that I know I want to do, right, with my time and with my life at this point. But assessing your priorities is important because, let me just say, reflecting on your hobbies and your long neglected interests, this has been really important for me, right? Writing, for example, I've probably been writing this year more than at any time during my working life, right? But writing was always my passion. But I was always too tired, or always doing some kind of project for work, or, whatever I had to do for a job, right? But passions and hobbies, it could be simply crocheting, if that's what and I didn't mean simply, but it could be crocheting, whatever your hobbies are. If you like to cook, if you like to create dishes, if you like to bake, whatever it is you do, whatever your hobby or your passion is, this is a time that you can start doing that. Now, with writing, and you may or may not have seen my 15 minutes of the Great American Novel, which is my live 15-minute co-writing session. Check it out. Check it out. Look on the playlist. Look on the playlist on my channel, and you'll see the 15 minutes of the Great American Novel, where I do co-writing sessions of 15 minutes. Every now and then, I haven't scheduled it. It's not a routine yet, right? I'm trying to get to the point where it is a routine, right? Because I've done some writing over all of these years, but the writing has not been every day at 8 o'clock in the morning. There are some writers who get up before dawn. They get up before dawn, write for 4 hours, and then go about their day, which is to me like a job, more like a job. And for me, writing is not work. Writing is not work. I enjoy it. It's different. It's different. Or there's some writers who may say, okay, I'll work in the evening, right? I'll write in the evening. And they may not start writing till 10 in the evening, write till 2, go to bed, and done, right? That sounds like more my speed. I'm not going to get up at the crack of dawn to write. However, I would like to. Maybe at some point. I don't know. But this is the time to start thinking about those things that you're willing to make whatever sacrifices for, right? This is that time. Also consider what brings you joy and how you can incorporate that into your daily routine. Like, what brings you joy? For me, I enjoy eating. It's so funny because when I cook, people always say, oh, you love to cook. No, I don't love to cook. I love to eat. I love to eat. I don't love to cook. Right? But I do enjoy cooking sometimes, not for large quantities of people. But there are times when cooking brings me a sense of peace and a sense of calm or whatever, especially if I'm listening to something helpful, in the background. Um, Cooking can be relaxing. Some people say doing laundry is relaxing. I think folding clothes is relaxing. I don't want to fold everybody's clothes, but folding clothes, watch a movie can be relaxing for me, right? Um, I'm not sure if I can go as far as to say it brings me joy. Mm-mm. But how can you incorporate these things into your daily routine, right? I am trying to meditate more and build a routine or a schedule for meditation time. Um, and so that's something that I want to do every day. And I haven't been doing it every day, but I need to, right? And also think about volunteer opportunities and community involvement, and ways for you to stay connected. Right. I think I've talked about this before in some of my earlier videos about retirement and what to do when you retire and what will you do. Because a lot of times that's the first thing they ask you, right? Is, oh, you're going to retire. What are you going to do? There's plenty to do. Plenty. Right. Sometimes you have to come out of your comfort zone and maybe do some things that you've not tried before. Go some places you've never been. Right. And volunteer opportunities and community involvement are some easy ways, right, to be involved, to stay connected in terms of social, your social life or your social activities. Because among those things that make people want to go back to work, right, is not only money, it's not just money and boredom, but also social activities. People get lonely. People get lonely in retirement, right? If all of your friends and all of your social connections are with the job, when you retire, you may feel a sense of loneliness, right? You may, even with the people that you don't like that much, you're used to seeing them every day. So, one way to stay connected is to build new friendships in your community, in your church, right? Some of us are connected fraternally with Masonic and sorority organizations, right? Fraternal organizations. And that's a way for you to stay connected, right? If you're that type of person, me being a writer and being kind of often living in my head, it's easy for me to be in my house for days and not talk to people. It's easy to do that. There are a few people that I know I want to stay connected with, and I try to do that. But it's easy for me to stay in my house, right? And especially if I have a full refrigerator, I ain't got to go nowhere. I ain't got to see nobody for a few days. Okay. But assess your priorities. Assess your priorities and consider those things when you start thinking about, do I need to go back and get a job? Now, if you just want to get a job, that's different, right? I've been very transparent about the possibility that I will seek out employment, right? Not necessarily, or not only, rather, not only to boost my coffers, right? But also just to make a little extra money to invest, right? Just something, just to make a little extra change, just cause I'm used to doing it, just cause I want to, right? And being able to resign when I'm ready and when I need to. And also structure helps you to create a schedule, right? It helps you to create a schedule, right? It says start with your non-negotiables like essential activities, meals, exercise, sleep, right? I know I cook. I at least cook one big meal every Sunday. That's pretty much a given. One big meal. When I say a big meal, I mean enough food for me and my husband to eat for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, right? I know I'm going to do laundry, right? I like to say that I make time for housekeeping, There are essentials, right, in housekeeping that you have to do. You have to do laundry. You have to change linens. You have to wash dishes. I don't schedule those things. I don't schedule those things. I just know they are going to get done. Okay. But then you block out your time for your passions and your interests, and make sure that you are prioritizing what's important. Okay. It's important for me to have some form of physical activity just for me, right? So I either go walking. I haven't been walking a lot because I have some lower back issues, but I haven't been walking a lot lately, and it's cold. It's hard to come out of the house for me. If it's below 70 degrees, 60 degrees, I may not come out unless I absolutely have to. But scheduling time for yoga for me has been important. Making time for writing has been important. Those are among my top priorities, past the essential stuff. What else? Is there anything else? Those are probably my two main priorities, is my physical exercise or my physical activities, and writing, next to the essential stuff, right? Like cooking, eating, cleaning, making time with my spouse and whatnot. But also leave room for flexibility and spontaneity, which probably half of my time is room for flexibility and spontaneity, right? Some of you, I know, you go to church every Sunday. I said I was going to start attending, not a church, but my spiritual practice. I said I was going to start devoting more time to that again. I haven't done it yet, but I'm considering adding that to my schedule also. And what else? But just make room for some flexibility. You got to go out to movies, you got to go out to dinner occasionally. Somebody's going to invite you over for a party. Somebody's going to invite you to a graduation, something, right? So you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible for those. Like every once in a while, my husband and I will say, hey, let's go walking. It's a nice day. Let's go walking in the park, right? I like to walk in my yard barefoot when it's warm. Again, everything is contingent upon if it's warm, because if it's not warm outside, it's almost a no for me. But make room for those. Make room to be spontaneous, because after all, retirement is freedom, right? If you're not free to do what you want to when you want to do it, what's the point? Also for travel, right? Travel comes under that. And travel, if for some of us, travel is more important, right? That's among one of the more important things too. But of course, that may or may not depend on what your funds are like, your income, right? Your money. But some of us retire, and because travel is a top priority, we make financial preparations for that, right? So again, assess your priorities, right? Assess your priorities and create your schedule. Here's some tips for being successful, right? Here's some tips. Tip number 1 is be realistic and avoid overcommitting, starting with a simple schedule. Okay. And that's important for me, because I promise I had like a long list of things that I wanted to do in retirement. I have a list. And some of those things I can actually kind of cross off, right? I can say at least that I did those things. Some I'm still doing, I'm not still doing. Some of you know I started background acting. I haven't been getting as many callbacks lately, so I haven't done a lot of that here at the end of the year. I did more background acting at the beginning of the year. That was one of the things that I wanted to try and get into once I retired, and I did that. I did that. I've been in a few things, y'all. I keep telling everybody where you can see me. But sometimes as a background actor, if you know, as a background actor, you'll be in one scene, in one clip of the scene for about half a second, and unless you know where to look for a person, you still don't see them. But I've been in a couple of things, so hopefully more of those, and a lot of those we filmed this year won't come out until next year. So when they come out, I'll let you know. But just be realistic. Don't overcommit. And it's hard for me not to overcommit because I want to do everything right. And I've been giving myself grace all year, saying, okay, it's okay, Sabongale, if you didn't do that. It's okay, right? If you didn't do it, you don't have to do everything this year, right? Assume you have more time. Some people say, well, don't assume you don't have the time, but I assume I have more time to do all of the things that I want to do. And another tip for being successful is adjust as needed. Again, it's a process. It's not a rigid plan. It's not a schedule, right? You're not on anybody's clock anymore. So give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace and adjust as needed. I've done that all year, right? I've done that all year. And now I'm coming up on my next year. Oh God, I can't wait. I can't wait for the live video to talk about what I've done this year. I've done a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff this year. So, and the third tip, right? The third tip for being successful in retirement, in terms of organizing your time and structuring your time, is to embrace the unexpected and allow for change, which kind of goes hand in hand with adjusting as needed. But embrace the unexpected and allow for change, right? And that includes going back to work if you want to go back. If that's what you want to do, child, if that's what you want to do, right? Some people say, no, I realized I didn't have enough money, so I got to go back to work. Okay. If that's the case, there's no shame in that. Again, I've been fighting the urge to go back to work. I didn't retire a millionaire, so I mean, it's not like I couldn't use the money, right? I can use the money, and I will again probably do some things to make a little extra change this year. As you may or may not know, I teach English as a foreign language through the platform Cambly. If you want to know how to do that, check my information on my page, and there should be a link to show you that. Also, I've done some scoring for a testing company, and also background acting paid me a couple of dollars, right? I didn't make a whole lot of money doing any of those things, but it's nice to get paid, right? It's nice to get paid something. And actually, with the Cambly and with the scoring for the testing companies, those are things that you can do, and you can make quite a bit of money doing it if that's what you want to do on a regular basis. But I'm not trying to make myself work full time anymore, right? Not if I don't have to, and at this point I don't have to. But make the most of your time. Just make the most of your time, right? Be mindful of how you spend your time. Avoid mindless activities. I know after the election, I basically stopped watching the news. I don't want to hear nothing else about none of that. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing bad going on, right? Even though a little bit has seeped in, and of course people come and tell you things. But I don't sit and watch the news like I used to. I do watch more television now because I really didn't get a chance to do a whole lot of TV watching or movie watching or series watching before. So I enjoy television. I enjoy film. And so I've been watching more television than I usually do, but I try not to watch mindlessly. Like, for example, court shows. I try not to sit and watch court shows and watch over and over because they come on back to, y'all know what I mean. And prioritize quality over quantity, focusing on meaningful experiences, right? This past December, I got an opportunity to visit my relatives in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where my daddy and them from. And I hadn't planned on making that trip earlier in the year, but something came up. We were celebrating my sister-in-law's birthday, and I said, you know what, that would be something great to do, something fun to do, something meaningful to do, because I get to spend time with family that I don't normally spend time with. And so, yeah, kind of at the last minute, I decided to do that. And we had a wonderful time, right? We had a wonderful time. And this is what's most important. Enjoy the freedom and flexibility. Enjoy the freedom and flexibility that retirement offers, right? This is, for some of us, this is a once in a lifetime thing. We finally get to this point in our lives where we have the freedom and flexibility to do whatever we want, right? But however, you have the freedom and flexibility to do what you want, but sometimes that means getting a little lost, can't find your way. And that's why structure is so important, right? It's important, again, because it gives us a sense of purpose, and it gives us clarity to our, I want to say, to our existence, maybe, right? And it's okay. It's okay. Look, if you like any of this that you've heard, if any of this makes sense to you, if you're in retirement and you're thinking about retirement and wonder, oh my God, what am I going to do? If this makes sense to you, please hit like, hit share, subscribe to the channel, and again, hit the notification bell so you will be notified when I am going to go live and talk about what I've done in my first year of retirement, right? And I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Happy New Year. This is a new year. This is a new retirement year for me. I'm excited about what's to come. And I hope that you are too. Come back and see me. Peace.